Well, hello. My name is José Antonio Lacomba, and I'm the professor of the course Experimental Economics. Here I'm going to briefly explain you this course, but before that, please let me tell you a little bit about what experimental economics is. Well, experimental economics is a discipline that allows to generate and collect data in a controlled environment. So what we do here is to create our own data. And we can do it in two ways. We can create laboratory data that we do in an artificial environment, or we can create field data in a natural environment. Okay? So how do we create this data? Well, we do that by using economic experiments. Okay? We design and implement controlled scientific experiments to test what people do in some situations. Okay, so if we want to study the behavior of people in a situation, then what we do is we design an experiment that captures the main features of this real world situation. And then we put people acting in this situation in the laboratory. Okay, and of course we can change the rules of the experiment if we want to study the effect of some specific element of the situation. Then we can change the rule, we do the experiment again, and we can see the effect of these changes in the behavior of people. In this way, we can compare the results from the behavior of people with the theoretical predictions. Okay, and then we can test the theories, and also we can create new theories. Okay, and of course we can see how people respond to some policy changes. Well, here you can see a typical economic laboratory. This is our laboratory here in Granada, and as you can see, it's very similar to some other laboratory. This is, for instance, in Amsterdam. All of them are very similar in order to compare results. So since laboratories are very similar, we can compare results obtained in each other. Okay, so more or less this is what we do in the discipline of experimental economics. Okay, now let me tell you what we're going to learn in this course of experimental economics. This course will be an introduction to experimental economics. We will learn its methods, and of course we will study the main results, the main topics that has been studied with these laboratory and field experiments. We will see, for instance, that experiments are built one on another. Okay, so what we do is we always have a basic experiment, and then in order to study different elements, different parameters, we make small changes, and then we are doing new experiments based on these basic ones. Okay, so here in this course you will learn how to design experiments, and you will learn how to interpret the results, and of course we will learn also economics. We will learn the main important economic results obtained with these economic experiments, both lab and field experiments. So what we will do will be, first we will start with the laboratory experiments. We review the main laboratory experiments, and then once you learned that, you will design and present your own laboratory experiment. Okay, and then we will do the same with field experiments. First, we will study the main field experiments, and after that, you will design and present your own field experiment. And finally, you will also have to write 2 short papers about your experimental designs. One short paper related to your laboratory experiment, and another short paper related to your field experiment. These are the topics that we're going to study here in experimental economics. We will start, as I said, with the lab experiments, and the main topics will be altruism and bargaining, trust, cooperation, labor market experiments, and antisocial behavior experiments. And then we will see the field experiments, in which we will cover more or less the same previous topics. As you can see, we will have theory and practice sessions. Well, in the theory sessions, the functioning will be the following. We will start the classes making the basic experiment related to the topic we are going to study that day. Okay, so you will participate in the experiment. You will do the experiment for real. In that way, you will understand how people feel and behave in that situation. So once we have done that, I will show you several scientific papers that are just small modifications of this previous basic experiment. Okay, so this will be our theory sessions. The practical sessions will be a little bit different. In the practical sessions, I will give you several research questions, one at a time, and I will give you some time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and in that time you will have to make a design trying to answer that research question. Okay, so then we will comment your designs, and finally I will show you the actual experiments that were made to answer those research questions. Okay, so in a way, with these practical sessions, you will learn to design an experiment, which will be very useful because at the end you will have to create your own experimental design based on your own research question. Well, your grade. I know that your grade is very important for you, so I'm going to tell you how your grade will be made here. In this course, you will have to design and present your laboratory experiment. This will be at 20% of your grade. Another 20% will be the short paper that you will have to write on your lab experiment, and the same for the field experiment. 20% for the design and presentation of your field experiment, and 20% for the short paper on your field experiment. Okay, the last 20% will depend on the designs you will have to do in the practice sessions. In order to pass the course in the continuous evaluation, you will have to present your own experiments and give me your short papers. That's all. Okay. Well, this is my presentation about experimental economics. I hope to see you in the course. So see you there. Okay. Bye bye, and thanks for your attention.